I'm Coach Wendy. I am the head coach of the Fort Worth Elite location. I am here with Mr. Chapa, and he is going to give us a short introduction about himself and tell us about being an official.
Hello, I'm Ed Chapa, and I've been an official for probably 6 years, maybe less than that. But the reason why I got into being an official was for my son Grant, who swims on Sigma/Metro. And so I had decided to get out of the stands and go down onto the deck just to kind of get into what he was doing and swimming. And so that's really what led me to start. And been a very interesting journey with doing this. I have not a swimmer myself. So of course I had no idea what the strokes were. That was something that I had to learn along the way when I was doing a lot of the testing and doing a lot of the training, just knowing the specific strokes, knowing what a breaststroke kick was versus a butterfly kick versus a alternating kick. And so it's helped me understand swimming a lot more than just sitting in the stands and trying to understand why my child was disqualified for whatever reason. So it gives you a better idea of what they're supposed to be doing while they're swimming. The thing I like about it, I know it sounds ironic and I know it sounds silly, but they feed you when you're down there. And a lot of the meets that are the higher level meets, they do feed you the breakfast and lunch. And so they give you drinks, they make you feel at home when you're down there. But they also expect you to do your job, as in my job, which it's the entry level position. I've not wanted to go above that, but it's very important for my position to be a stroke and turn. So you have two positions there. One is the turn position, where you're standing at one end of the pool, the start end or the turn end, and you're watching for different infractions that the swimmers might have during their turns. And so the second one is the stroke turn, where you're actually watching the actual stroke as they swim across the pool from one side to the other. And believe it or not, there are some things that you'll catch as you're officiating as a stroke and turn. And so those are the main things that my responsibility are for an official that does stroke and turn. Now we do have other positions that once you've completed and are certified to do stroke and turn, you can become what is called a starter. And a starter is someone that will get the swimmers ready, tells them to take their marks, and then push the button. And it's fun to do. And so that would be the second thing. The third, there's no real specific way to do it, but typically you can become what's called a chief judge. And the chief judge is just the person that goes to the stroke and turn, asks them what their disqualification they observed, and they write it down and they submit it for disqualification. And so that's what their job is. You also have what's called a deck ref. And the deck ref is the person who stands next to the starter, make sure all of the swimmers are where they need to be in the appropriate lanes, and they're the ones that record who is not there in their lane, or if they didn't show up. So they're the ones that kind of oversee that part. If there is a disqualification, if there's a false start, then the chief judge, not the chief judge, but the deck ref is the one who goes and tells them that they've been disqualified and they cannot swim in that event. And then you start moving up into what is called the administrative official, which is the one who works on the inside where they call it the dry side of the meets, where they are the ones that are pulling all the events, putting kids in the events, making sure that once an event has ended, they send it to the next event, and so they reset the clocks too, and then they look at the times. So they're most focused on times and more of the logistics side of it, of making sure all the swimmers are where they need to be. And then finally, you have what is called a meet ref. And so the meet ref is the one who oversees everything. They're the ones that make all the decisions. They're the ones that have also the final decision on if a swimmer gets disqualified or not. A coach can appeal the decision, and then the meet ref is the one that can ultimately decide to overturn it or leave it the way it is. And so there's a lot of integral parts to it, but I just decided to stay with just stroke and turn, just for the fact that it's fine for me. I don't have to be having to feel the authority of doing the other things. So I am currently working on becoming a starter, just something different. I've been doing this, like I said, for about 5 or 6 years. So it's something that I decided just to kind of do, but it's not anything that I have to do. So,
Well, if I know nothing, I know you said that you kind of got into it to figure out things. If I knew nothing about swimming, could I still be an official?
yeah, your learning curve is going to be a little greater than those that have been swimming or were swimmers in high school or in college. But it's nothing that you can't learn. I know that on the USA website, they have a tab for officials, and they have videos there that you can look at. If you're interested in doing and becoming an official, that would be the one place that I would start. Yes, there's a application that you have to fill out, and you also have to do a criminal background check. But once you've completed that and you've gone through the training and you've taken the test and passed it, the certification is good for 2 years. But once you do the theory side of it, then you have to do the practicum side, which when you go and you go to a swim meet, you'll be an observer, and you'll be with a stroke and judge turn who will be helping you. You're not doing any of the calls. You're just watching what he's doing. He's explaining things to you. He may talk to you and explain certain things about certain strokes, what you should be looking for, what you need to see as the swimmer comes in, things like that. Then he might talk to you about just where your jurisdiction is, because everybody has a jurisdiction in some capacity. So he'll talk to you about that, and you'll have to do that. I think it's about 4 sessions. It may be more. I'm not quite sure. But once you've done that, you'll go to you'll have some paperwork that your person that you were with will have to fill out on you, and then you'll eventually go to what's called a prime observer, and you're the primary, and so you're not by yourself. You'll be with someone else, and they'll watch you be an official and see and watch you as you make those disqualifications and stuff like that. But you'll do that. I think it's about 4 also, and then once you've done that, you'll get your paper, and then you'll have the meet ref sign off on it, saying that you've completed all the requirements and that now you're able to do it on your own. And so that's pretty much it. I mean, you're still going to learn a lot as you go through, because a lot of meet refs do things differently. And so it's just once you kind of start to understand it and get an idea of what you're doing, it becomes easier. One thing that really helped me was I decided to become a high school official. And so that just gave me more experience to try to see what was going on, because you'll see a lot of those high school kids don't swim year round, or swim very rarely, and so you'll get to see what they're doing. And so the USA swimming rules are very similar to the UIL rules. There's maybe one thing that's different, but other than that, there's not a whole lot that's different in regards to stroke and turn. So, but I encourage people to do it. It really helps our swim meets when we're able to have enough referees or officials to hold a swim meet. We have four. You have to have four officials to hold a swim meet. If you have less than that, then it's not considered sanctioned. And so you have to make sure you have a deck ref, you have to have a starter, your meet ref, and a stroke and turn. But typically, stroke and turns, you can get away with just one, but if you had another, so it would be easier, because then you would have them on the ends instead of walking the strokes. So, and short course is much different than long course, because of you need additional officials, especially if you're doing stroke. So anyway, that's pretty much it.
Oh, I have one more question. If I were to become an official, am I going to have to officiate every weekend?
No, you officiate. You can volunteer. Typically, all the swim clubs have most their own officials. Sigma is one of a couple that we don't have that many. It's only really three of us, and so sometimes it makes it difficult because we have to find those extra officials and those important officials to run a meet. But if your child goes to a Mars meet and you want to officiate, you just tell them that you're there to help, and they'll put you in a position, and that will be your job. Now, they like for you to stay the whole time, but if your child has already swam and he's done his warm down and he's ready to go, you just have to make sure you know what the last event is that your child has done, and say, I need to leave after this because I have to take my child home. And they understand, and typically other parents are there that will stay longer, and they'll have swim officials that will stay the whole meet. So, they just appreciate there being enough officials for the strokes that are being swam that day. So,
Joe, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, I just think that you being a swim official just helps tremendously for us as a club, as Sigma, to be able to hold meets. It's becomes a challenge when you don't have enough officials and you want to put on a swim meet, and you can't do it because you just don't have enough. But other than that, that's it's not a bad job. You have fun doing it, so meet new people.
Up front seat as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You get to see where all the action is.
You do.
So, if you would like more information on becoming an official, please email meets@sigmaswimming.org. I'm sure we will pop a link on here just so you guys can see. If you'd like to talk to Mr. Chapa or one of our other officials to get more information, I'd be happy to get you in touch with them. I think that's all.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
If you made it this far, thanks for watching. It's a YouTube channel. We're here, so there are a few things we need to say.
You should like and subscribe to keep up with us. Ring the bell so you know when the next video comes out, and share with your friends.
If you've got comments, let us know. We will respond to your comments. We have merch down at the bottom. It's not anything as cool as this, but it's the newest versions of these things. And we have a lot of other social medias like
Facebook
and TikTok.
and Instagram.
And we wish you years of comfort in the water.